Are you ready for the Parade of Saints? And welcome back to Cliffieland. This is Weekend Country number 144 on our second attempt of cooking the food of every single country in the world. And tonight we're up to the nation of St. Kitts and Nevis. It's actually pronounced Nevis, not Nevis. Nevis, a dual island nation located in the Caribbean Sea. It is the smallest nation in the Western Hemisphere, and it is sort of near Antigua and Barbuda and south of St. Bart's and near Saba, and you'll have to find it on a map. Its food is really great. It's very typical of the British Caribbean tradition in that you'll find lots of dishes involving seafood and things like salted cod and breadfruit. Now, because their land is volcanic rock, they can grow all kinds of great fresh produce there, and as protein you'll usually find things like beef or more likely goat, as is found in their most common dish, goat water stew. Unfortunately, we're not doing that this time. But we had to deal with the food last time, so let's see how things went when we did things then. Well, 4 years ago on the Global Cooking Challenge, I did get to cook over 2 nights, and the first night I did a dish which is one of the most popular things across the British Caribbean, which is called Caribbean Cook-Up. It's a large stew involving rice and pigeon peas and salted cod with a chicken wing on top. It was very tasty. Unfortunately, we're not doing that this time. We may get to it when we do some other island nation somewhere. But we are doing tonight what we did on the second night, which is sort of a platter of dishes, which is one of the national dishes of the country. And last time I could only cook 3 of the things. This time we're going to shoot for all 4 with a slightly different recipe. So those are stewed saltfish, seasoned breadfruit, spicy plantains, and the addition now, coconut dumplings. Now last time that went really well. I did kind of burn the plantains and the ginger in it, so we're going to fix that. And also last time I was wrestling with dealing with breadfruit for the first time, and I got a fresh one, and previously I had it overripe, which is not good, and this time was underripe, which was very not good. So this time I wasn't able to find a fresh one. I got it frozen. It's going to be better that time, you'll see. So that being said, we need to see what go into tonight's dishes. First, for our stewed saltfish, we'll need 1 pound of saltfish soaked in water overnight, 1 green bell pepper diced, 1 red bell pepper diced, 1 yellow bell pepper diced, 1 pound of tomatoes chopped, 5 cloves of garlic chopped, 4 tablespoons of canola oil, 2 tablespoons of butter, 6 spring onions finely chopped, 1 small onion chopped, salt, and black pepper. And then for our spicy plantains, we'll need 3 ripe plantains cut into halves, 2 tablespoons of grated ginger, 1 small onion grated, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of red chili pepper flakes, and 2 tablespoons of canola oil. And then for our coconut dumplings, we'll need about 2.65 ounces of coconut flakes, or around 1/2 cup, 6.76 ounces of flour, or around 1½ cups, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of canola oil, 1 tablespoon of butter, and 1/2 cup of water. And then for our seasoned breadfruit, we'll need 1 pound of breadfruit unsalted, which will be chopped into 1-inch pieces, or roughly 3 cups, 2 tablespoons of canola oil, 1 tablespoon of butter, 1/3 of a red bell pepper diced, 1/3 of a green bell pepper diced, 1/3 of a yellow bell pepper diced, 1 onion chopped, 4 garlic cloves crushed, 1/2 cup of chicken broth, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. That looks really great. We're gonna need to pull up a beach chair and get cooking. Boil the fish in fresh water until tender for about 20 minutes. Drain the fish before removing the bones, scales, and flakes. Then, in a large pan, heat the oil and add green pepper, yellow peppers, red peppers, spring onions, garlic, and the onion. Cover and cook over low heat for 5 minutes, stirring occasionally. Add the tomatoes and simmer over medium heat for 2 to 3 minutes. Then add the saltfish, butter, salt, and pepper. Cover the stew and let simmer over low heat for 5 minutes. In a bowl, place the plantain halves, the ginger, onion,
salt, and chili pepper flakes, and toss until mixed. Then in a pan, heat the canola oil and fry in batches until golden brown. Remove and drain on paper towels. Into a bowl, place the flour, coconut, salt, butter, and oil, and gradually stir in the water to make a stiff dough. Turn onto a lightly floured board and knead for about 2 minutes. Make the dumplings into your desired shape. Heat a pot of salted water to a boil. Slide the dumplings into the boiling water. Cover and cook for about 10 to 15 minutes. In a heavy pan over medium heat, melt the butter. Then add the oil and onions and cook for 5 to 8 minutes until golden, stirring often. Then add the garlic, the thyme, which somehow missed the ingredients listing, and the chopped peppers. Sauté for 30 minutes, remove from heat, then add the breadfruit and the chicken broth, and toss gently to blend and heat through. Season to taste with salt and pepper. Plate servings of the saltfish, the breadfruit, the plantains, and the dumplings, and enjoy.
How'd that all turn out? Well, it was really good. I rather enjoyed it. It was a whole lot of food, and I did polish off all of it. Let's start with them one by one, starting with that stewed saltfish. Now, I rather loved it. It was not universally adored here, but I thought it took me right to the islands. I liked the flavor of the salted cod. I thought it had the right amount of salt in it. The peppers gave it a nice bit of variety, and it went really nicely with everything else on the dish. So I'm going to give that one 4 out of 5 globes. Then the seasoned breadfruit. I am really happy to have gotten breadfruit in the right texture that it was supposed to be, because that was really good. And that also went really nice with the peppers and onions, and it mixed well with kind of everything else. So I'm going to give the seasoned breadfruit 4 out of 5 globes. As for those coconut dumplings, that was a new addition, and there was a problem with the recipe in that it didn't say how many this was supposed to yield or what shape or size they were supposed to be, and since I didn't know any better, I probably made them too big and they were kind of dense. So that was kind of a me problem. If you have any suggestions on how to get that done better, please sound off in the comments and let me know. I'd be happy to learn. However, we're gonna have to give that one 3 out of 5 globes. I'm being a little bit generous there, actually. Now we need to get to the star of the evening though, because that was the spicy plantains. Those were really great. The ginger gave it a nice bite, and with the chili flakes in it, it just really was a big surprise, and they were the perfect level of ripeness. So I'm gonna give the spicy plantains 5 out of 5 globes. So that is it for St. Kitts and Nevis. Check out Joan Armour Trading. You're gonna like her. So next week we stay in our parade of islands, and I mean it. We have 5 island nations and 5 saints. You'll see. Next week we get to St. Lucia. See you then. And remember, if you'd like to see our streams live when they happen, follow us on Periscope or Facebook Live. Like and subscribe to be advised when these videos are posted. If you have any thoughtful feelings or helpful suggestions about the food that we're cooking, sound off in the comments. Remember, links to the original recipes, remember these aren't my recipes, are found in the About section. And tune in next time. Thanks for watching and happy eating!